A certain swim bait just accounted for another $250,000 in walleye tournament winnings just last week. Oh, and owls eat crankbaits, and pirates are coming for your planer boards. So we got that and more coming up right now in Target Walleye's Top 5 presented by Seafoam. Let's dive on in. Number 1. The National Walleye Tour Championship on Lake Erie was just one casting, not trolling, which I'm not sure has ever happened before. Any guesses who had the nerve to pull that off at the Super Bowl of walleye fishing?
Here's Johnny.
That's right, John, I'm gonna catch him how I want to Hoyer, who just had 102 plus pounds of walleyes in 3 days, nearly a 7-pound average on 15 fish to take home the W in a massive payday. And dude was so dialed, he was back to the weigh-in early each day. On day 1, he was the first boat to weigh in, and that's after a 40-mile ride back from his last spot, and he still made it in by lunchtime. While most pros were out trolling in 70 plus feet of water, Hoyer was fishing shallow weed beds in just 6 to 12 feet and catching them his favorite way to fish. That's busting out his 7-foot medium-heavy Fenwick World Class and rip-jigging those fish with a Berkley Powerbait the Champ swimmer. He was using the biggest 4.6-inch size in HD bluegill and HD perch and had them paired up on heavy 3/4 and 1 ounce Fusion 19 swim bait jig heads, which let him rip those swim baits out of the eelgrass, doing big 6-foot rips, then killing it, pausing, letting that swim bait crash back down to bottom. And Hoyer said that those fish would hit that thing like a stick of dynamite. Every fish just absolutely was inhaling it. The harder he ripped, the harder those fish hit that bait. So when Hoyer's saying that he's ripping these swim baits as hard as he can, he means it. The picture on the left, those blisters, that's from an 8-hour day of ripping those swim baits without wearing gloves, which he's learned his lesson. Now he rocks thin Now he rocks thin Sims gloves to keep his struggle buzz. Which now he always rocks a pair of thin Sims gloves so that he can keep his hands and his head in the game and cash big boy checks at the Super Bowl of walleye fishing. Congrats, brother, you earned it again. Number 2. So it sounds like the only other feller that was throwing those champ swimmers at shallow weed fish during the NWT Championship was Dwayne Dewey Helm, who just so happened to get second place. So once again, Alexa, add Berkley Powerbait the Champ swimmers to my cart. Every HD color they have in stock, I want all of them.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now. Please try a little later.
God dang it, Alexa. Dewey's second place finish pushed him over the edge in the Angler of the Year race, meaning he was the most consistently good angler after every single NWT event in the 2022 season. Get this, in the last 3 NWT events, Dewey finished second, first, and second, and then just last month he won the National Team Championship on Lake Oahe. Cha-ching! Way to put it together the entire season, dude. Keep doing your thing. And everybody else that's listening right now, you better get used to hearing Dwayne Helm's name because you're going to be hearing it for years and years to come, no doubt in my mind.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Number 3. You know you're fishing big water when there be pirates afoot, or something like that. Just an incredible shot posted by Rob Jones of One More Pass Sport Fishing. Can't even imagine seeing that in person. The good news, that ship is wind powered, so it's not going to cut the lines on those offshore tackle planer boards if it gets too close. The bad news, I'm sure they have plenty of other sharp objects to come and take whatever it is that they want aboard your vessel. You know what? I think I'm good fishing on my little central Minnesota lakes where all I've got to worry about is a pontoon driving right over where I'm casting. I mean, right over where I'm casting.
Tell us how you really feel.
You know what?
It's public water, so it is what it is, but in Minnesota, if you wave at a boat and the other boat doesn't wave back, that's when you know you have some real beef. Number 4. I'll take strange catches for 500, Alex. These nocturnal birds can rotate their heads and necks 270 degrees and mostly feed and prey on small mammals and insects. What is an owl? Ding, ding, ding. That's exactly what Ron Boggs caught while he was doing some nighttime trolling in Montana during the last full moon. Funny enough, it was dark out, so Ron had no idea that an owl had swooped in and sniped his stick bait off of the surface. He had been catching fish, and all of a sudden his drag started screaming, figured it was a northern pike, until he noticed the line angle was getting a little bit high. Flipped on his headlamp to see the line going up into a tree. Still confused, not knowing what's going on, he said he gave it a yank, and plop, an owl lands in the water. You can't make this stuff up. He was able to drag it back to the boat. Yes, the bird was big mad, but it somehow calmed down just enough for Ron to be able to cut the hooks and release it unharmed. Somehow Ron came out of it with all of his fingers, so that's always a bonus. He said it did a Michael Phelps butterfly stroke back to shore, and then Ron went back to catching walleyes. And lots of walleyes, including a 29-incher and a 10-pounder that went 30.25 inches. Gotta love when that nighttime grind pays off big. Number 5. I just found a picture of the skinniest muskie ever caught by Gord Peiser's grandson, Liam. It was 42 inches long and weighed just zilch pounds. They said they weren't sure what drug it up on shore, but that they did find it underneath an eagle's nest, so remind me to never mess with America's bald-headed mascot. That wraps up this week's Top 5. Big shout out to Seafoam for keeping us running smooth, making this video series possible. Thank you, Seafoam. If you want more fishing content like this, sign up for our free Target Walleye emails at targetwalleye.com. I'll see you back in 7.